Well, hello YouTube. On today's episode of Know Your Rights, we will be covering a lawsuit out of Buffalo, New York, involving a homeless man who was shot by officers of the Buffalo Police Department. If you like this type of content and want to see more content like this one, please take a moment and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you have a video you would like me to break down or a news story you would like me to cover, please send me an email at knowyourrightsnews@gmail.com. The link is in the description below. Now, let's dive right into this officer-involved shooting lawsuit out of Buffalo, New York. The city of Buffalo, as well as two police officers, are being sued for shooting a mentally ill homeless man in September 2020. According to the lawsuit, the homeless man shot by the Buffalo police officers posed no threat at all. Willie N. Henley's legal guardian, Barbara J. Henley, accuses the city, the Buffalo Police Department, and the two officers of carelessness, employing excessive force, and violating his civil rights after he was shot by the police on September 12, 2020. According to the lawsuit, Officer Carl Schultz had no legal reason for shooting Willie Henley, who posed no threat to the officers and did not point a weapon at anyone. Mr. Schultz's attorney earlier stated that the officer fired twice at Mr. Henley after he hit Officer Alyssa Piron 3 times with a baseball bat. Miss Piron allegedly attempted to use a metal baton to strike Mr. Henley in the midsection and take him down, according to Thomas H. Burton, the officer's attorney. Months of nationwide protest against police violence and racism preceded this shooting. This officer-involved shooting spurred new protest in Buffalo as well. This shooting also prompted questions about why police officers of Buffalo, New York had not been issued tasers or other less lethal weapons. Since this shooting, tasers have been distributed to all officers in the Buffalo Police Department. According to the lawsuit, Mr. Henley, who was 60 years old at the time and living at the Buffalo City Mission at the time he was shot, received injuries including a laceration of the liver and a shattered rib. At the time of the shooting, Miss Pirons was only on the job for 3 days, and Mr. Schultz was her training officer. According to Erie County prosecutors, officers received a 911 call regarding a person having a mental health crisis shortly before 3 p.m. on the day of the shooting. A prosecutor told a city court judge in October 2020 that according to the individual who called 911, he saw that an older man was ranting and raving for hours and was wielding a baseball bat. According to the prosecutors, officers pursued the suspect on foot for many blocks before he hit one of the officers twice with a baseball bat and was swinging at her for a third time when the other officer shot him. The schedule and positions of police ordered to respond are shown in the records from the police department's computer-assisted dispatch system, which includes entries marked at 3:01 p.m. that states, "had a bat in his hand," and "very insane male shouting." A witness told a local news channel that he saw someone run down the street, but he could not tell if it was a police officer or Mr. Henley. The witness did state that he saw a man with a bat in his hand, but he never saw the man swing the bat. Mr. Henley was charged with assault and firearm possession in Buffalo City Court 2 days later. Mr. Henley was taken to the Erie County Holding Center after the shooting, where he was treated for gunshot wounds to the abdomen. In March 2021, a judge deemed him incompetent to stand trial after receiving reports from 2 independent doctors, and he was committed to a psychiatric hospital. In December, the counsel for Barbara Henley filed a lawsuit in the state Supreme Court. Because the lawsuit contained alleged civil rights violations, the city's attorneys had the matter moved to the federal court level last week. Attorneys for the city contested that the charges presented and a number of defenses included that Mr. Schultz's use of force was reasonable and necessary in self-defense of himself and others, according to the city's response to the lawsuit filed in the courts last week. Mr. Henley was wanted on a bench warrant at the time of the shooting for failing to appear in a mental health court after being accused in 2017 with punching a Buffalo police officer, according to District Attorney John Flynn. According to Mr. Flynn, Mr. Henley pled guilty in that matter, which was then sent to mental health court for punishment. Mr. Schultz had fired his handgun before the confrontation with Mr. Henley. In 2012, he had shot a teenager, leaving him paraplegic from the chest down due to his injuries. Mr. Schultz and his partner were found to have fired in self-defense by a grand jury concerning the 2012 incident. But in 2020, the city and the shooting victim reached a $4.5 million court settlement. Well, YouTube, I hope you like this video. If you want to see more videos like this one, please subscribe to our channel. Until next time, YouTube, stay safe out there.
Before we jump into today's video, I want to take a moment and let everyone know that I have released my first ebook entitled Remain Silent: Top 3 Trick Questions Police Officers Will Ask You. If you want to know what these 3 questions are and how to respond to them, please click on the link in the description below to download your free copy of my ebook. Before we break down this footage, I want to take a moment and talk to you about We the People University. If you haven't heard about this online course, I want to let you in on a little secret. Its sole purpose is to train you to know what it takes to make sure you are not unfairly treated by the police ever again. Who better to teach you what to do when the police try to search you or your property illegally or violate any of your constitutional rights than former police officer and sheriff's deputy Abiyah Israel. Learning your basic rights is an easy process. The only thing it takes is you being willing to learn. Do you want to learn all the trick questions that police ask during a traffic stop? Do you want to take back control from the police? If so, please click on the link in the description below. You will learn the secret of taking control of your constitutional rights back from the tyrants who abuse the law.